The Chicago Bears are off to an 0-2 start under first-year head coach Ben Johnson and now host the Cowboys in Week 3. Despite a 52-21 blowout loss to the Lions last Sunday, Johnson was still pleased with the progress he saw from his young quarterback, Caleb Williams.
We're in that process right now, and like I said, he took a big step from Week 1 to Week 2. I'm really expecting him to do the same thing Week 2 to Week 3. But the fact of the matter is, we're not going to go Week 1, Week 2, Week 3, all the way through 17 just like that. We're going to have some hiccups along the way, and I'm aware of that. But his approach to the game right now is what it needs to be. He's coming in, he's doing the work. Eventually, these results will start speaking for themselves. But as long as he puts the work in like he's been doing, we're going to be okay.
The Bears have never made the playoffs after starting a season 0-2, so Dan, I'm going to come to you first. Is Caleb Williams, the quarterback, under the most pressure this week?
Absolutely. He was the guy under the most pressure going into this season. They're 0-2. And he's had one really good drive. I thought he played pretty darn well in the first half last year, but going against last week, now going against the Cowboys defense that Russ looked like 2016 Russ against, there's so much pressure. And there's already noise. There's already noise around this football team. There's already noise around, is the head coach and the quarterback combination going to work, and why he can't play a full game. And there's better quarterbacks, maybe even on the roster, people are saying, for Ben Johnson other than Caleb Williams. I am lauding everybody, not the right word. I'm begging everybody to just wait until like November till we start to truly evaluate if we think this is going to work. This is still so new in this process. But I'm not everybody. I think if Caleb has a little bit of that roller coaster performance and they lose, it is going to get so noisy around him in that organization.
Well, he's two different quarterbacks when he's under pressure and when he's not under pressure. We'll get into that a little bit later, but go ahead, Mina.
Well, I think I agree with Dan in some ways. First of all, Caleb Williams was not the problem with the Bears last week. Right. Not even close to the biggest problem, frankly, when you watch the tape. The defense is a disaster. They have a bottom 3 rushing attack in football right now. Issues right now with the offensive line, receivers as well, quite frankly. I thought he played pretty damn well, to be honest. Now, against this Cowboys defense, you do want to see him play well, but I'd like to see them run the football better than they have. But Dan is correct in that there will be a lot of criticism if he falls short this week against an inferior defense. He is not under the most pressure this week. There is a team in Texas that was supposed to win their division easily. They're 0-2. If the Houston Texans 0-3, only 4 out of the last 162 teams that have started 0-3 have made it to the playoffs. The expectations for that team and for C.J. Stroud are way different than the expectations should be for the Chicago Bears this season. So to me, Stroud, that's a must-win game. Like, that's a season-defining game for C.J. Stroud this week against Jacksonville, their divisional rival.
Dan, I'll get back to you in a second because of that look you got on your face with what she's saying, but I got to hear from RC first. Go ahead.
So we believe both C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams have superpowers. C.J. Stroud's problem right now is kryptonite, right? It's the offensive line. Caleb Williams' problem is, as Superman, you got to convince him that Clark Kent was as much superhero as Superman was. Tua Tagovailoa doesn't have a superpower. Matter of fact, Tua Tagovailoa has only started to talk about his humanity. I got to tell Tyreek, hey, I'm not going to be able to throw it 80 yards. You might have to stop and be able to catch it. Oh, I can't do half the things that Josh Allen can do. You start to speak in this way when the film starts to say it. Now, you go to week 1 where you're constantly turning the football over. You're under pressure against the Indianapolis Colts. You're overthrowing footballs to the dead. Cam Bynum's getting interceptions. And then now you fast forward to this week and you play a little bit better against a young New England Patriots defense. If he doesn't ball out against the Bills, I don't believe that Tua Tagovailoa is just playing to win a game. I think he's playing for his career. I think if Mike McDaniels is no longer the coach of the Miami Dolphins, if you want to give this team a spark, you have this one quarterback that keeps talking about what he can't do. Go to one who we at least think is athletic. We at least think has some arm talent in Zach Wilson and see can he spark this team. And I just don't know if anybody else will be willing to take Tua Tagovailoa on as a starting quarterback.
I want to say this before I go back to all of y'all. Number one, I'm going to point this out about Caleb Williams. This is coming into this game. 63% of his completions, 33 or 49 passes, 67% completions, by the way, for 349 yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions in a clean pocket when he's not under pressure. When he's under pressure, he's only completing about 44% of his passes. So it's two different worlds with him. The reason why that's relevant is because the man got sacked 68 times last year. He was on suicide watch. He has got sacked 16 more times than anybody in the league. Who was number 2 with that? That was C.J. Stroud. So you're talking about 2 quarterbacks that have been brought up in this discussion, the C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams, where a big problem is the offensive line and the absence of protection that they're getting. So that's going to have to be shored up to some degree. This might not have anything to do with the subject because J.J. McCarthy is out, and we get that right now because he's injured. But here's my issue. I would have, if he were healthy, I would have threw his name into this equation. Here's why. Kevin O'Connell is the quarterback whisperer in Minnesota. You had a guy in Sam Darnold whose career you resurrected. 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, over 4,300 yards passing. Started you off 14-2 last year before nosedive in the last 2 weeks. The last game of the regular season with a division crown on the line, and then in the playoffs when they sit there showering one another with water like they want something, but they still had a game to go against the Detroit Lions. I'll never get over that. What I'm saying is, with all of that success, with an Addison, with a Justin Jefferson, even though Addison's not there right now when he comes back, with the weapons that they have with Hockenson, with all of these cats, you said go out the door.
I wish you would have said that.
You said go out the door, because we got this rookie that we drafted, didn't play a game last year because of his meniscus tear. He hasn't thrown an NFL pass, but this is the guy. We know he's the future, but he's now. I'm sorry. I would have thrown J.J. McCarthy in that discussion in a heartbeat as a quarterback
and
under the most pressure.
I
would have been. What would it been?
Ridiculous
based on what I said. I'm saying
he would be 2 games in his.
But it's not about him. It's about the decision that Kevin O'Connell made, saying with all of these weapons, I'm gonna go with the rookie. I'm gonna go with the rookie.
There is pressure on him for sure.
Right.
From the sense of you're supposed to produce right now because we've seen this roster produce. But the other piece of it is it's way too early.
I feel you. But that's why I'm saying I'm only.
But I'm going to put him in there anyway.
No, I'm only using him to highlight Kevin O'Connell's decision. I'm looking at Kevin O'Connell is what I'm saying, more so than J.J. McCarthy. That's what I'm saying.
How come with you, certain quarterbacks, we want to talk about the other parts of what they're doing, and certain quarterbacks, they don't?
It depends on the situation. Every situation is not the same.
Exactly.
Every situation is not the same.
Exactly.
But again, I'm bringing it up because I might care about this more than you do. You might not pay attention, or you might not care, rather, because I know you pay attention, but you might not care as much about a quarterback getting sacked all the damn times. I'm looking at a franchise that was in a position after 16 games to compete for a Super Bowl, and you said, the hell with everybody else. We gonna go with the rookie that was at Michigan winning the national title.
Hold on.
That's what I was looking at.
I'm
sorry, Mina.
I'm sorry, Mina. I know you want to hear you saying
I'm about to back Stephen A. up. So I'm about to back you up.
You know. Go ahead, Amina.
Let's say Dan's 5th child, Carson Wentz,